This is pretty awesome.
Wow.
So here we are standing in what is going to be.
So that's the camp for the guy.
Well, can you give us
That's
a
the camp?
tour of what's going to be where and what's coming?
Certainly. So as you look towards the lake, there's going to be a seawall, 4-foot seawall over along the lake on the Sea of Galilee.
Okay.
As we look this way, this whole area all the way out to the sea is going to be Fort Burnham. It's going to have all those sets that you've seen in the past, plus some sets you're going to see in future seasons and in future episodes. You know, Matthew's house, I think it's Quintus, Gaius. All those houses are in here. And as you look up the hill, you're going to see the synagogue up on top of the hill. And that synagogue is really
That
cool.
building in the
It's
background
been
is
designed after
part of the
what
camp.
we believe that the synagogue in Capernaum looked like. You know, Jeff and James have done a lot of research and tried to duplicate that synagogue.
Give us a tour of this.
That looks cool. That'd be fun to be a set builder.
Looking down
I wanna go.
where the city of Capernaum will be. And as we come forward here, you're coming to the front of the temple, and then right here we'd be going down the temple steps into a beautiful courtyard here with a fountain.
Okay.
Just in front of us here.
I mean, this is amazing. Like, I'm just blown away by how much more detailed this is even than season 1. And I thought season 1 was pretty darn good.
Season 2 was pretty darn good too.
Season 2 was pretty darn
We
great.
keep
Yeah.
raising the bar, and you know, it's like it's guys like Tad, James, Jeff, you know, John from HTX Service making it all possible.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So where are you going to do season 4 now? What are you going to do to up it even from this?
Oh man, there's a great guy by the name of Dallas Jenkins. I think it's a great question for him. I don't want to answer.
Dallas, we throw that one to you. What are you going to do to up all of this for season 4?
We'll have to find out.
All right, so I feel like I'm a newscaster or something, having it back to you, Dallas, from Chris, but thank you for that handoff, Chris. But the question about season 4, the fact is, we do obviously have more in store for future seasons when it comes to the story. There will be times when we go back to the extraordinary Utah set, especially because that's Jerusalem, and so we'll be spending a lot of time in Jerusalem in future seasons. But here's one of the cool things about season 4. When you say, well, what are we gonna do differently? Well, that's one of the beautiful things about the set, is that the set now gives us a permanent home, and so that when it comes to season 4, we've already got some of that infrastructure already built. Now, I want to give you real quick the why. Why are we doing this when we didn't do it for seasons 1 and 2? Well, one of the main things is that, yes, those sets have served us really well in seasons 1 and 2. For example, there's a set in the middle of Texas that we were able to use at times. There was a set in Utah that we've used. And then, of course, on this property, the Salvation Army property, we used a lot of the exteriors, like out in the fields, and that's where we filmed the Sermon on the Mount. But what we haven't had is a permanent home that we can build to our specifications. And so building to our specifications that allows for some of the unique needs of filmmaking we haven't always had, and especially our unique needs, because we're obviously a unique show. So building this now with our unique needs in mind has been a huge deal. The weather factor is huge. So a lot of times in film and television, you have what's called a cover set, which is you're filming out in the weather, it's really cold or it's really rainy, and then, Chris, I think, touched on this a little bit, but it's really cold and really rainy and you need someplace to go. Well, we weren't able to go anywhere because we were subject to the availability of other sets, other sound stages that were built in the Texas and Utah area. So we didn't have any place to go, so we would just, and sometimes we'd have to miss a day of filming or we'd have to stop early. But having a cover set, having the ability to have everything right there, we can go in and film in some of those indoor sets is a huge factor. The time and money we're going to save by being all in one spot is massive. That was another thing, is going to another sound stage. We'd have to get the entire we call it company move, where we get the entire company, cast and crew, have to transfer hotels, which no one ever wants to do, especially when they're doing it long term, and go to a new location where we're set up for a week and film on a different set. And that costs a lot of money, it takes a lot of time, and that's very inconvenient, but having everything in one spot is a huge deal. So we're going to be saving a ton of time and money in the long term, and that's a big deal. Now, the other thing is this long-term use. What about when the show is over? Well, that's one of the reasons why it's worth putting the money and the investment into this plan and into the soundstage, into the permanent set, because this isn't going to be just for us. We believe that long-term this can be used for other projects similar, that have a similar mindset to ours, that don't have necessarily access to the kind of resources that this soundstage and those first century sets will provide. Also, the Salvation Army has camps every year for kids. They have free camps sometimes for underprivileged kids who come during the summer, and this will give them a first century biblical education. The Salvation Army will really use this because, again, it's on the Salvation Army property. They have been such extraordinary partners to us and allowed us to be able to do this, and they're going to benefit from this as well. And the kids are going to benefit from this. It's going to be a long-term, lifelong benefit. Where they're gonna have an interactive Bible experience in first century history and Bible education. It's gonna be extraordinary, as well as having the opportunity to learn things like filmmaking and learn about behind the scenes of the set. People who wanna come visit the Chosen set are gonna be able to do that long-term, but we're also gonna be using this for other projects that are not only ours, but other people's. We wanna be able to share this where we can. So there is a huge long-term benefit to this, and I just wanted you to be excited about it and know that once it's set up, we're gonna be ready to go right into season 3, making full use of this thing. We take this very seriously, the opportunity and the resources that we've been given, and this is going to have an impact for years and years and decades and generations to come. Okay, so I wanna read something else to you very briefly before we go into the 3 miracles video. Okay? That is, got this other, this is a short note, but it says so much. And it has a lot to do with what I'm about to share here real quick. I started reading the Bible